Hey guys, this is Terrence from Strategic Picks. I'm here to display a video for you guys to teach you how to trade these targets. Trying to make this as easy as possible. Uh, I'm going to pick up a watch list here, and right now I'm looking at FDX, which is FedEx. Now the reason why we picked this stock was based off of the fact that it's above the cloud on the 30-minute chart. It's also above the cloud on the daily chart. I'm on the one hour chart, and looks really bullish on a daily chart. So here's a daily chart of it. You can see this is a very bullish candle. So if you're able to read candlestick patterns, this right here is telling us this is very bullish. So you can see here I already have my sell order in. Usually whenever I purchase, I put a sell order in automatically. I have 16 contracts of FDX. So I'm wanting to sell 14 contracts at the next target. I entered off of this target 160.08. It pulled back and came back down to this 156.48 target, and it's okay. So this is where I was saying to buy more, to lower your entry, because it did a pretty big drop. Um, so we want to look at those targets as purchase areas. So we bought here, but it couldn't make the push above. It failed. So if we look at a 1 minute chart, you can see how it looked as if it was going to make a move today, but it didn't. So it hit that target. That's when we got the target at 9:36 this morning, and we entered on this trade here because it closed above that target and confirmed above our target. So we entered that trade. It then pulled back and it went above our target again, and it still couldn't make the push. Just wasn't strong enough. Um, and it just pulled back and it just became a very bearish day. So it's okay as long as we didn't close below 156.48. We were still in a good zone for a continuation up. And based off of the daily chart, we should still be bullish. So we're not worried about it unless it closes below this this support level here. So we just keep our eye on that support level. As long as we don't close below that, we're fine, and it should make the run to 163. So from here, we should see another run to 160.08, and then we should see a breakthrough to 163.68. Now, if you draw a trend line, we can see that it's got some resistance. So once it breaks this trend line as well, we'll make a nice strong run. Just activate that, and just trying to make this as clear as possible. Yeah, that should be about correct. Right around here. Yeah, I think this is better. Yeah. That's about it right here. This is so once it breaks this trend line here, we'll make the run to 163, which is also the target. So it might take a couple of days before it breaks that area. Hopefully it happens tomorrow for us. All right, so basically how this works is we had a nice little run on Friday. Now, of course, there's other targets in between here that I just didn't post, but I'll show you how to add that target. So a lower target that we're looking at is 153.35. I can't tell you how I get my targets, but just know that these are very accurate. 153.35. So I go to price line, price level, and I get close as possible. And then I hit edit properties. I just make it thin so I can see it better. And once it went above that level, we knew that it was going to run to 156.48, and then a break above that level was going to be 160.08, which it did. It did that on Friday. And then today it went to the next level, 160.08, which I thought was going to continue to make a push, and it didn't. That's the trend line right here on the daily chart. That's what that is that you're looking at right here, this red line. So what happens is that once it breaks the target, once we get an alert, you do that, you create alert, withdrawing, crosses above, and then hit create. And now once that price hits that target, you're going to get the alert saying that FDX crossed above 160.08 on the 1 minute chart. And whatever time frame that you set it on, if you set it on a 30-minute chart, then it'll say FDX crossed above 160.08 on a 30-minute chart. So it just depends on what time frame you click it on. Doesn't really matter. Now, if you're looking for a stronger move, if you wanted to close above on a daily chart before you take an entry, you might miss a lot of movement. For instance, on Netflix, you can see here where there's a lot of movement that went, and we had a target way above here. If we picked a target that was closer to down here, we would have made a lot more money off of this trade. This would have been a great day trade. Wasn't really watching it for a day trade, unfortunately, but this was a great move. So you would have entered on this target here of 372.16, and you could have taken the profit. You would have made about on today's expiration, on this week's expiration, just that little bit of movement right there, it would have been about 20%, 30% just from that little bit of movement on this week's expiration. On a monthly, you're looking at about 5%, 10% move, and you could have just took your profit there if you wanted to. The next target is all the way up here, 385.01. That's a lot of money for Netflix to pay out once it makes that move from this target to the next target. As you can see from here, 350 to 372. It's a lot of money there. If this little bit was 10% on a monthly, this is about 200 to 300% from this target to this target. It's good profit. And that's on a monthly. So I'm going to reiterate, I'm going to go back a little bit. Let's go back to FDX just so you can see again what we did today. So we're looking at a 30-minute chart. We start off with the 30-minute chart to see how it looks on a 30-minute chart. We're looking at all time frames. So this right here, you can see once it broke the cloud here, the moving averages were bullish. MACD was bullish. It was above the cloud. So here would have been a great day for entry. You would have caught this at a really great price in the 147 area, 149 area, and today we will hit 160. So that would have been a lot of profit there. Just for me to grab from here to here, I'm sorry, not from there to there, that little bit of movement, I was up like 5% today, and it didn't even move much. So we know that there was a lot of people buying into that option, which tells us that this should be a strong move coming soon for FDX. Based off of the news, based off of how the chart pattern looks, we should get a nice strong move on FDX, especially whenever we break this target. A lot of people are looking for a 165 area, and you can see our next target is 166.93 and 163.68. So we know a lot of people are looking at 165s, then we know we're going to end up in between here or past this level more than likely. So we want to enter on these targets. Unfortunately, the target was already passed this morning, as you can see here. It passed the target. It broke that target early this morning around 4:30, unfortunately. So we weren't able to take that target. So we took this target here thinking it was going to continue up, but it didn't. It pulled back, and it's okay. What we did was lowered our entry in this area here. Hit the next target, we lowered our entry here. Reason why is because this is on a bullish trend. So anything that's still on a bullish trend, we could buy on those dips. A pull back towards another target, we could buy more shares. And it should make the run back up. Now coming back up to here, if you bought more contracts here, by the time it gets back up to here, you should be in some profit. If not, you might be breaking even or be slightly negative. where you're going to be maybe negative, 1% or 0.2% or something like that. Nothing significant by the time it runs from here to here. And based off of how the cloud is, how thick it is in the front here, we should get a nice movement up. And if it does, sometimes it could run inside the cloud. We just got to be mindful of this 156.48 area. We could reduce contracts at that area in case it does want to make a drop down to 153.35. And if it drops down to there, we definitely want to buy some more. More than likely, it'll have a stronger push up. But from right here, we should get a push up. Don't be afraid to buy more contracts. You don't want to overextend yourself, though. You don't want to be all in. You don't want to extend your account. So, you might want to start off moderately. And if it continues to climb, you could buy more on pullbacks in between the upper area. So it can make a run up to here, pull back. You can buy more whenever it's closer to the target here. If you wanted to make a significant more amount of money, let's just say you bought only 2 contracts at that target, and you're only in for 2% of your account. Once it ran up to here, if it broke that, you could have added more. Once it broke this target here, this area, this trend line, you could have bought more shares for the run up to here. And if it pulled back as well, you could have bought more for the run back up. So there's different ways you could do it, whichever way you feel comfortable. Or you could just hold on and just let it ride. Even here, you can hold on, and you're going to take the loss right here. You're going to be in a negative, but you can hold on without having to buy more, and know that if it does break this area, then you're going to walk away from the trade. No big deal. You'll make the next trade. On the next time that this breaks this target, you'll jump back in and make all your losses back up as it runs right back up. And hopefully you make up your losses plus profit. So this system is really that simple. Once you get the alert of it hitting this target, you're jumping in. You're not hesitating. You're going to just jump in. You're not going to hesitate. You just jump into the trade. Second, you get an alert on a target, you could just jump in. Now, understand that if you just jump in, it doesn't close and confirm, it can pull back. And even today, it did close and confirm, and it pulled back, but it didn't close and confirm on the 30-minute chart, as you can see. It never closed above it, and it never confirmed. And you can see how it pulled back. On the 1-minute chart, it did. So our entries are based off of the 1-minute chart. So if it closes and confirms on the 1-minute chart, we're jumping in. As soon as I get these alerts, I'm jumping in. I'm willing to manage my trade. I'm willing to manage my trade. So if it does something like this, now I can manage this trade without being nervous that this thing pulled back, because I'm not going all in on this trade. I can lower my entry. I can reduce contracts at this area if I wanted to. So it's just about managing your money properly. But these targets are key to knowing you can make profit between one target to the next. From one target to the next, you can make profit. So if you guys have any other questions, any problems with this, please let me know. Again, it's from one target to the next. It hits the target. If you grabbed it on Friday, you'd have been walking away today at this target. If it broke this target, you would have been walking away at this target. As you can see, it went from this target to this target and pulled back. It went from this target to this target and now pulled back. So we're anticipating a move from this target. Hopefully we're getting a break above this target and then run to this target. And then based off of that pattern here, we should get a pullback. So we hit this target here, and then we're probably going to get a pullback. Back to this, more than likely this trend line to test this level. And if it breaks below this level, it's probably going to fall back down to 156.48. But we're trying to make this trend. Now let's look at Home Depot real quick. Home Depot was looking fantastic today. So I entered the trade on Home Depot. Once it broke this target, I jumped into that right here at this time. Got the alert on this target, it pulled back a little bit, took off like a rocket. and we're going to be running to the next target of 242.19. Here was the area I set an alert. It tested that area for second pre-market. If it stayed around there, I was going to buy more here because we're on a bullish trend. It never tested this level. It just ran for the day. Home Depot is looking extremely strong. I expect a really good move on this tomorrow. For the week, we're probably going to see 244.96. More than likely. You can see how, based off of this day, this Tuesday, was a good day to enter Home Depot and just hold on, deal with the pullback, and we should be running. We're more than likely going to run a 244.96 by Friday. We'll be there, maybe even Wednesday. So yeah, it's just based off of the target. Don't be afraid of the pullbacks. Don't be afraid of it. The pullbacks are okay as long as it's not breaking below the next target. We don't want to. If we enter the trade, you enter the trade here, and it pulls back down to here, and it breaks below that, then we're exiting the trade, because this is a buy. This is supposed to be support, and if it breaks below that support level, then it's going to run down to the next level here. 9 times out of 10. Doesn't happen all the time. As you can see here, it went from this level here down to this level, broke below it, but the next day, that Monday, it started shooting back up, and we should have entered the trade here to make some money from 232.02 target to this 235.43 target. But this go around, we would have been holding for this 238 target, because we know that it hit this level several times. This was obviously a testing area, so we know that it was going to test this out. That's why I said to you guys on Tuesday to have into this trade. I made 17% off of Home Depot, based off of entering the trade on this Monday, and I made 17% the next day. It might have been one of these 2 days. I forgot which day it was. Yeah, sorry. Yes, it was this Tuesday. I entered the trade based off of that alert, and I got out at 17%, I believe, on this candle here. I just took my profit at 17%. And now I give it another go around. I'm up 11% now, and I'm going to, because of how much resistance it had here, this is like a slingshot. So we should get a nice strong run towards 244.96. So I'm going to reduce contracts here at 242 and allow it to run, leave the rest of the contracts in to allow it to run to a 244.96, which I'll probably just be leaving one or two contracts in for that run. So that's really it, guys. It's getting an alert on the target, and we're getting out at the next target. It really can't get any more simple than this. Sometimes the timing might be off, but as long as it didn't break below the previous target, it's okay to hold on. You know, you don't have to be afraid of these pullbacks, unless it closes below that next target. If it closes below the next target, then we have to walk away from the trade. So that's really it, guys. Listen, I want you guys to keep on practicing. Go back to these videos, check it out. Make sure that you guys are studying, because the only way you're going to succeed in this is constantly looking at these charts and memorizing these patterns and understanding how these charts are moving and how specific stocks are moving. You know, Home Depot, I already know that it moves slow. Netflix moves fast. Apple is a slow mover. Amazon, it's kind of a sideways stock. It's just now starting to make its move over since a year. Then we have Baba. That's a very strong moving stock. We got Beyond, a very strong moving stock. So once you guys understand how the stocks move, you'll be able to understand where you should be at and why you should exit a trade, depending on what kind of stock you're in. Every stock has its own movement, has its own pattern, has its own strengths, has its own weaknesses. So just be aware of that. All right, guys. I'll check you later. If you have any other questions, just shoot me up on the chat room. All right, I'll talk to you guys.